Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon Bonifer, and once again, you are live on Focus. Today, we have the opportunity and privilege to interview Ryan Ruebl. You may know him from his social media posts, his creative activities that he's been doing here in Wisconsin for a while. And I want to introduce you to Ryan. Ryan, tell me a little bit about what it is that you've been doing on social media, some of the different platforms that you have, and how people have probably seen your content over the last several years, but maybe didn't recognize that you were the man behind it.
Right. So back in 2012, it was actually February of 2012, I came up with an idea to do social media and promote the state of Wisconsin. I think the very first page I actually ever had was called Wisconsin Style, which is actually a long form for Wisco Style. And that's actually my clothing brand that I promote. But yeah, way back almost 10 years ago now, I've been doing this. And then a year later, 2013, I came up with Meanwhile in Wisconsin, and that page actually really took off. I remember like the first month or so, I think it gained like 25,000 followers. So it just blew up really quick. And then basically I just take everything from my life, which everything I love to do, which is like sports. Like I'm a huge Packer fan, a really big Badger fan. I love fishing, summertime. I love to ice fish. That's coming up right now. I was actually going to go ice fishing today, but it's just too warm. Yeah, I just take all of my activities or everything that I'm passionate about and just put it on the page. And basically everything you see in this page is exactly who I am. So that's how it all started.
And when I look at Wisco Style and I look at Meanwhile Wisconsin, I mean, the content is slightly different, but yet there's a streamline of humor that's kind of really behind all of it. Do you get a lot of people that contribute, or is it mostly all your content? How do you get content every day to kind of keep those two pages going and keep the interest with all your followers and your audience?
Well, when I first started, it was mostly all me. I'm going to say even today, it's like 80% to 90% me. If someone like sends me like a really funny a meme or something or a photo, I'll give them credit and post it. But I think it's always been me. So, and I think I take pride in that because I mean, not all pages do that. They hire people, they, collaborate with people, which is great. You can help build your following that way. But I take pride in what I do and everything I do. So I'm just very passionate about it. And then like way back in the day, there was like nobody was really doing videos back in 2012, 2013. So I just gained most of my following off like memes and photos. And along the way, I just started posting just photos of me, like who I am and what I'm doing. Just never really posted videos until probably 2018, honestly. So, and that's what it is today. It's kind of a mix of photos, memes, and it's me kind of like being myself, just kind of in a comedic way, kind of adding a little bit of humor to every little video. And that's who I am actually in person too. Like in real life, I just try to show people who I am, but adding a little bit of exaggeration to it too. So that's how.
For sure. We're talking a little bit about who you are. I mean, you grew up here in Wisconsin. Where, yeah. I assume the Northwoods, but where in Northwoods did you grow up?
So I was born in Rhinelander and then moved to Rice Lake in grade school. So north of Highway 8, technically, which to me is 100% the Northwoods. Like that's up north to me. We have national forests, we have state forests. It's amazing hunting and fishing. So that to me is like the true up north, Highway 8. So, but then, I grew up in Rice Lake, graduated, and then I moved to Chippewa Falls, which is, close to Chippewa Falls is where I am today. I've been here about 16 years now. So born and bred a true Wisconsinite.
So as you've been doing this over the last number of years, I mean, at what point did you think that would you do this for a job? Could this be a business, or was it, you always just think that, hey, this is going to be a hobby and I'm just want to entertain people and share a little bit about Wisconsin, a little bit about my life? When did it kind of trigger in your mind that, hey, you know what, people like what I'm doing? They like this idea of some of these different clothing that I wear or offer. I mean, when did all that kind of creativity come into the play?
Well, when I first started doing this, I did it for the t-shirt marketing. That's free traffic to your website, which did really well. But then one day, like I never did comedic videos before, but one day Charlie Berens reached out to me. First time he reached out to me was 2016. He did this kind of this like Titanic voiceover. It was called "If Jack Dawson Was Really from Wisconsin."
I remember when I was a kid, me and my father, we went ice fishing up there on Lake Wissota, caught some walleyes. Ice fishing is, where you...
I know what ice fishing is.
Sorry. You just seem like, kind of an Illinois girl.
That was 2016. I watched it. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. And then he asked me to post it, and I posted. I'm like, absolutely, this is brilliant. So I did it. And then actually 2017, he reached out to me again. And I remember I was fishing up in Hayward, and I'm like, here's this Charlie guy again. I wonder what he wants. And so I read his message, and he's like, so I came up with this new concept called Manitowoc Minute. Would you mind just kind of taking a look at it? And if you like it, maybe share it on your page. So I watched it. I'm like, wow, this is brilliant. So I'm like, I have to post this. And then, so after that, I think it was like a year, like I would randomly post some of this stuff because it was great. And then 2018, he finally asked me why don't we just do a video together, just something real quick in my Manitowoc Minute. And I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it. And then finally a third time I said yes.
It took you 3 times before you said yes.
Well,
was this pitch that bad, or were you just not interested?
Well, people don't realize how big social media is. And if you put yourself out there, it's going to be in front of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. So
absolutely.
And he asked me to do a deer hunting skit or a little sketch for his Manitowoc Minute. I did it. It was really quick, but it turned out really funny. And right after that, I was hooked. So, and we did a few more on his Manitowoc Minute. And then
So Ryan guy, it's Lent now?
Sure is.
And you know what that means?
40 days until Easter.
Try again.
Friday, fish fries.
Bingo!
Should we Yelp some supper clubs to find the best fish fries?
Yeah, I think so and so.
Okay, I got Antler Supper Club in Bonduelle pulled up here. Nancy from Wausau says my sister from Chicago loves their perch. Keep in mind Nancy's sister's a fib, so she's probably talking about the walleye.
Way to read between the lines there, Ryan.
We started doing some bigger collaboration videos, and it kind of took off for me after that. So that's kind of how it got started as far as me putting myself out there for comedic videos. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Meanwhile Wisconsin and Wisconsin Style. I saw that for a number of years on social media.
Yeah.
But, to me, I always just thought that there was a group or, something behind it. There wasn't an actual public figure. And then the first video that I saw with you and Charlie was, I think, the video that you guys did, the driver's ed video in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Midwest Driving School. That was our biggest one at the time. Yep.
Yeah. And that's when I recognized who you were. But at that point, I still didn't recognize that you were behind, the other 2 platforms up until probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So would you say in the last 2 years, it's been pretty crazy when it comes to this creation? I mean, have you ever ran into as a creator, there's a point where not that you just run into a wall, but you get mental blocks. You run into creative, walls. Have you experienced that yet? Have you guys just been able to just keep moving her along?
For me, I have so many hobbies and interests. I don't think so. And I create my content for the different seasons. So obviously right now we just did deer hunting season. But right now I have a bunch of ice fishing videos I'm going to do. And I guess I don't hit a wall or mental block, because I have so many different interests. It's still Packer season. I've done a bunch of Packer videos in the past. I really don't run out of ideas. I just take the seasonal and just run with it. So that's where I'm at.
We talk about seasons a little bit. You mentioned it's still Packer season. You got fishing around the corner, but gun hunting in Wisconsin just ended. And Wisconsin, I really think when it comes to what we have here, it is so unique. And the people that are here, I mean, you look at 50 states across the union, and there is a good amount of influential people that come out of Wisconsin. And when I looked at stuff that you're doing, Charlie's doing, other creators in Wisconsin, the sports teams. I mean, the fact that you look at the Packers and the market that they're in, it's pretty impressive for how well they do, right? Especially in the National Football League. And then we have Chris, a musician here out of the Northwoods that, made his debut. And you guys did a song together. What inspired for you guys to get together? Have you had a history knowing each other, or was it just a one-off conversation? How did that come together? And what really inspired that song? And then we'll kind of dive into what that song's all about and how you guys created it and so forth.
A lot of people probably don't realize, like, Chris and I grew up in Berens County. We probably grew up 15 miles from each other, but we actually never met until we met each other on the internet. So I think I came up with a video idea. It was called Stuff Wisconsinites Say, like 2.5 years ago. It was really just going to be me and Charlie. And then Chris just got back from The Voice. I'm like, man, he'd be a great guy to have in this video too. So I asked him, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. So we all did it together. And that was like the first collaboration video that we were all in together. And it did really well. It was like 1 million views in the first 3-4 days. But that was the first time I did something with Chris. But the first time I actually met him in person was like back in April, like for real.
Oh, this year.
Yeah. And we did a fishing video for Quick Trip because we have partnerships with Quick Trip. So we shot that. It was a lot of fun. Behind the scenes was probably even funnier than the real video. But yeah, the Buckaholic song that we did, like, we were talking about doing a song for a while, maybe a few months, and we didn't know exactly what we were going to do. But I finally just texted him like 7-8 weeks ago. I'm like, let me just come up to your studio. I've got some ideas written down on my phone. And the number one idea was Buckaholic. And that kind of stemmed from a video I did a year ago called Stuff Deer Hunters Say. And I kind of talked about Buckaholics Anonymous in the video and kind of still getting the shakes. So we kind of pulled a little bit of that from a video last year that I did. And we wrote it together up in the studio. And I think it turned out really well. The name Penelope of the gun, we just kind of looked up on Google. I thought it was a great name for an old school gun. And the gun in the video was actually my grandpa's 30-30 from like, it was either 1969 or 1970. So, I mean, what can you say for like your grandpa? You have your grandpa's old gun in the video, you got to include that. So that's Penelope right there. So, but yeah, the video did, or the song did well. So locally. Did you know you had a music background when you reached out to him? I mean, no. No. I am not a very good singer, but I know I can write, and I can do a slow talking rap. I could probably do a fast talking rap also, but I think that's we have plans to do more songs together. So, but yeah, go ahead. And
you mentioned that, obviously when you go on the internet and you post as such, you're posting it to a platform that you manage, right? And you expose yourself to millions of views, millions of people, and people comment. And one thing that I've always been impressed with you and many other creators here in the state is the engagement that you guys contribute back. Through this song and recent posts, I mean, what is the comments or the feedback that you hear from people that are in the Midwest, here in Wisconsin, about this song or just about what you're doing?
Well, we posted the music video on our social media, and the number one comment was just 2 words. It was "love it" with an exclamation point. So that tells you something right there. And then, you have something special when people actually start private messaging you saying, "Dude, I love the song. Like, this is going to be my new deer camp song every season." And people actually, like multiple people, like reached out and told us that. So that's a really good feeling to be able to affect Wisconsin and the Midwest and kind of create something new and different other than the songs that everyone's been hearing for the past, 20, 30 years. So I think that's the number one reason we wanted to do it, to come up with something new and put a different feel out there for everybody. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you talk about comments and stuff, and the last year, 2, maybe 3 years now have been pretty challenging for a lot of people, just dealing with everything going on. And when you add humor to people's lives, it really lifts them up. And I have to imagine that there's been times that you've posted something that has been lighthearted, or you've done it to entertain the audience, but you've been DM'd with messages of people just saying, "Hey, I needed this right now."
Right.
Is that something that really inspires you, or do you feel that is that somewhat the motivation behind what it is that you do? I mean, how does that impact your messaging?
Yeah, I think I've always been kind of tried to be a funny guy. That's just me in real life. But I think if you create this content, and even if it just affects one person's day in a positive way, I always have people comment and say, "You just made my day with this video. I know it was only 3 minutes out of my day, but I watched it and it just brightened my day." And that's kind of stuff that really makes me want to do this and keep going and building my business. And I don't know, just making people happier in the Midwest and Wisconsin, because I know it's like you said, it's pretty rough out there. So these days, and I think people really need this in their lives right now. So yeah.
So where in Wisconsin do you get the best old fashioned? Is that a hard one?
Probably, well, the most popular I think is Ishnala Supper Club. But man, there's so many places where you can get a really good old fashioned at so many supper clubs, even just your local dive bar fish fry places. There's unlimited, honestly. And well, I think, yeah, and I've been promoting the old fashioned on my page, and it always does well no matter what, almost every Friday. So you got to keep rolling with it,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where do you go from here? Where do you hope to see yourself in the next 2, 3, 5 years out? I mean, what's kind of your ambitions, or what's going to drive you forward?
I think I'm going to keep rolling with Kroeze on some new songs. We actually have a new ice fishing song we're going to come up with. I don't know the title yet, but we're going to keep doing some music together. Probably going to collaborate with some new people. Not going to say any names yet, but we'll keep that rolling. And then just keep being myself. I mean, honestly, I probably have only shown 30% of what I probably can do. I think there's still 70% left in the tank. So, yeah, I'm not being cocky. It's just I haven't put it out there yet.
Well, and like many people that are in this industry, I mean, have you made it a full-time career yet, or you still have?
Yeah.
You have transitioned.
Yeah, almost 2 years ago, I quit my job. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's a hustle, and it just impresses me how they're able to, keep the hustle alive and still have this other thing going on. And it's scary. It's scary to make that decision. So the fact that you did that already, that says you're in it. You're in it to win.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.
So obviously, anybody's paid attention this long. Where can they connect with you? What are the platforms that are most? Let's run through the platforms. Give a little insight about what content someone should expect. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it.
Right. So at Ryan Ruebl is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then my biggest following is Meanwhile in Wisconsin on Facebook, and then also Instagram. So. And then I have Wisconsin Style on Facebook, and then Wisco Style also is on Instagram. Those are my T-shirt brands. So, and
you talk about T-shirts. Do you have a website? Anybody looking for gift ideas?
Yeah.
What's the website?
Wiscostyle.com. So check out that website. A lot of flannels, a lot of hats, a lot of T-shirts, a lot of hoodies, a little bit of everything. That's my kind of style. So,
and we'll make sure people see some of the gear right here on the screen as they're scrolling through. Well, Ryan, it's been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit. I'm sure Central Wisconsin is no stranger to you. And I think over the next year, they're going to see a lot more of you. So that's exciting, and I'm excited for what you guys are doing. It's inspiring, it's creative, and I think that's what people need. So I'm very privileged to have taken the time to get to know you a little better, and I'm sure we'll meet again.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for your time, Brandon. Have a good day.
Good. Well, Ryan, thank you again, guys. Thank you for joining us. And go ahead, check out the description, check out the link. Go ahead, read information about Ryan, and watch that hashtag. Any content that we put out in the future that he's a part of will be there, as well as make sure you check out one, if not all of his platforms, follow them and see what he's up to. And with that said, thanks, guys, for continuing to follow us. I'm Brandon Bonifer. Until we meet again.